Tyler. Look! Miami Heat.
Okay, so there is a lot of hype around Tyler Herro, which I think is a bit overblown, especially this early. Going on Twitter, you'd think he was the second coming of the Messiah. However, when you get past all the hyperbole, there is no doubt that the kid is a serious talent. I think it's safe to say that 2019 will see one of the more exciting Heat teams take to the court, and a big reason for my optimism is the intriguing potential of the young rookie from the University of Kentucky. As a Heat fan, the last few years have been a bit dull. Sure, we've been solid, making the playoffs pretty consistently, and of course the farewell tour of Wade was a great reason to tune into games. But in general, there hasn't been a lot of reason to be excited for the future of the team. Along the way, we've definitely drafted some really solid players. Justice Winslow and Bam Adebayo have become great role players, with plenty of room to grow. But the reason Herro has become so fascinating is that he's entering the league with a playstyle seemingly tailor-made for the modern NBA offense. And while we are yet to see it play out in some real NBA games, Herro has me chomping at the bit to see what the season and future has in store for Miami. Now, of course, this is all based on some preseason performances, which in the grand scheme of things are meaningless. But I think there are some characteristics of Herro that you can be quite sure will carry forward into his rookie season. The first thing is that he has a pure and mechanically smooth shot. It looks like the kind of shot an AI program would create from watching footage of the NBA's best shooters. He gets it off quickly with a textbook motion and a nice high release. He can fire off the dribble, thanks to some terrific footwork, as well as in catch and shoot situations. And boy, that follow through. It's quite a sight. Now, I won't go over the obvious advantages of having a pretty stroke, but here is one big advantage that you won't necessarily see play out on the court, and that is time management and development. Recently, we've seen so-called shooters, aka Lonzo Ball and Markelle Fultz, or non-shooters in the case of Ben Simmons, spend significant time in the off-season early in their career focused on fixing or rebuilding their jump shot, therefore taking time away from developing other parts of their game. I don't think that will be Herro. He has the natural instincts and mechanics of a modern shooter that can be pretty much left untouched, and Miami, an organisation with a great reputation for player development, can devote time into unlocking the rest of his potential. What about the shooting stats we've seen so far? During his time at Kentucky, he shot the three ball with 35.5% accuracy. Now that's definitely good, but not the best we've ever seen. However, with the deeper three-point line and the more open floor of the NBA, he seems to be really comfortable. Like really comfortable. And it's being reflected in some of his preseason numbers. Against the San Antonio Spurs, he scored 18 points, making 7 of his 13 shots, as well as 2 of his 5 three-pointers. Now that's not bad on the surface, but it gets even more impressive when you realise he made his first 5 shots in a row. Now, let's have a look at the game against Atlanta, where he had an even better statistical game. He finished with 23 points on 9 of 14 from the field and 5 of 7 from 3. Great stuff. But again, the numbers gain more meaning when you note that he scored Miami's first 14 points of the game by himself. So, over his 5 preseason games, he has averaged 14.2 points, 4.4 rebounds, 2 assists. Numbers very much in line with his Kentucky averages, but achieved against NBA-level talent. The big difference is that he has shot 48% from the field and 51.8% from 3 over those 5 games. Now again, keep in mind this is a tiny sample size in some warm-up games, so I'm not going to draw too much from this, but what does this tell us about Herro heading into the NBA season proper? Well, it shows us he has the ability to catch fire, scoring quickly and in volume. Herro is likely to come off the bench to begin his NBA career, so having the ability to make an impact quickly and early will be a fantastic characteristic to have. He can jumpstart an offense back into life, and lifeless offense has often been Miami's downfall in seasons past. And with an insanely high preseason three-point percentage of over 51%, we know he can shoot. Obviously, that number is going to fall, but if he can continue to prove himself as a scorer, he will quickly earn more minutes. Secondly, the strong mechanics of his jump shot that I talked about earlier also means that even when his shot isn't falling, he has a strong starting foundation to bounce back from. And given how good his technique is, prolonged shooting slumps should be uncommon. If slumps do occur, it will be a mental hurdle for Herro to overcome. Thirdly, the preseason tells us that Herro has incredible confidence in his scoring ability on the NBA level, which leads nicely into my next brief, but important point. Not only is it clear that Herro has confidence in himself, but it's also apparent that his teammates, coaches, and organisation have faith in him, and are allowing him to play to his strengths.
He's a player, man. He's going to be big for us, big for this city. They're going to fall in love with him as they should because he drives.
Now, in a lengthy season, there may be some peaks and troughs in Herro's output, and that may put the occasional dip in his confidence. However, with such a strong leadership core and organisation surrounding him, he has the perfect environment to learn and adapt. So I think the talk of Rookie of the Year is perhaps a little premature at this point, but Tyler Herro is definitely going to be one of the rookies to watch this season. I think the core of what makes him an NBA level player is rock solid, and he could truly be a game changer for Miami.